Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jeff coming at you with another episode of Accelerate Flow State. And tonight I'm in Austin, Texas with my friend Alec over here. He's been on some of the calls and I wanted to bring him on because he's made so many strides in his business over the past 6 months or really year. And I wanted to kind of get a little bit of insight into what he's doing from a mindset standpoint and what's making the biggest difference in his business and what's allowing him to move forward in real time. So for just a couple minutes, Alec, what is going on in your business? What is going on in your mind? How have you moved forward so fast and so well?
Yeah, hey everybody. Yeah, I'm Alec. The last 6 months, 5 months have been awesome. They've been a blur. I'd say one of the biggest differences from a mindset perspective was kind of trimming down all the content that flies at us all the time. There's a lot of, you hear from 20,000 different strategies of things that you can do. And one thing that I started doing really well was just focusing on the things that were certainties and then building off my certainties instead of taking too many things on my plate. So that simplified my processes, it simplified the way I think about the business. It helped me clarify my goals and my purpose, so that way I could put together a plan that made sense for me. And it's been huge. One of the big benefits of that is you deal with less doubt on a daily basis. If you're dealing with certainties, you can deal with less doubt. And when you deal with less doubt, you can build SOPs and step-by-step processes that you trust and hand them off to other people to do, which is huge. Because once those things are happening automatically and your main stats are being hit automatically or being hit by other people, then you can focus on taking on one more uncertainty at a time. It's so easy to have so many uncertainties or to take on too many projects, getting so excited. Breaking it down to the basics, break it down to the things that you absolutely know will move the needle. Focus on those, write them out and hand them off. And it brings a lot of clarity and a lot of room for growth. So
yeah, that's what I was getting at. Of what you're saying is that you've created a lot of clarity, and that clarity has allowed you to create process, and process has allowed you to delegate, and that's what's allowed you to accelerate. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's right. Before I didn't have time to organize because I was busy selling, but I was selling poorly because I was stressed about not organizing and delivering. So
your brain was going in two different directions, or at least two.
At least two.
Yeah.
Probably like 20 different directions.
Right.
And so, yeah, going back to the basics just like helped build the confidence back up. And now I have a lot more time to focus on strategic initiatives and selling and yeah, just getting really, really tight on the training, getting your staff up and rolling, which isn't very time intensive if you've done your organizing right. Like they should be able to just follow the instructions and know, here's what we do as a business, here's why your role is important, here's what comes to you, these are the changes you make, and here's where you send it. And
nice.
If you can break their whole role into those 5 things, then you can completely hand off, and all you're doing is occasional quality checks and then move on to your more important strategic initiatives. So
what are like the 3 steps that people could take to kind of start going in this direction to get that clarity and create the process behind it so they can delegate?
Yes, first thing, I'd say the first thing to do is get organized. And people say that a lot, and it's a very nebulous term. So
yeah, it seems very...
it's very nebulous. So let me see if I can't break it down into exact steps. 1, decide what your product is. If you're doing SEO, that's one product. If you're doing rank and rent, that's another product. For each product, you need to write down the steps from the very beginning before doing your due diligence. You need to write out the products that need to be passed off. Just like if you're organizing a factory or you're building a car, you need to go through each step and you need to put it into boxes. So say step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this, all the way to the end. Once you have this process laid out, then you look for let's call them particles. Like, we look for the things that are similar and we combine those into groups. That's a role you can hire for. I'll give you for example, if you're making a lead gen website, I know I'm gonna need to do due diligence, then I'm gonna need a home page, then I'm gonna need some service pages, then I might need location pages. And then on top of all that, if I wanna get complex, there's optimization, there's backlinking, there's technical SEO. But for the purposes of this, I'm building a lead gen, boom, 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 boom. Well, I know I'm gonna need content here, content here, content here, content here. That is one hat. That is a content writer hat. And maybe you're using AI, maybe you're not, but that's how you get organized, is you say, okay, so for the homepage, what are the things that I do when I create a homepage? Let me make a checklist of what I look for to decide if it's good, and then record some videos of me doing it and hand it off to somebody.
Nice.
So that's the way to get organized. Similar particles, put a hat on it, and record your process and hand it off.
Hand it off, delegate it.
Delegate it.
So is that the first step or 3 steps?
That was
3 actions in there wrapped up in that single thing.
I would say, I mean, let's call it, that is a huge, if you accomplish that step, it's gonna take 70% of the stress off your mind. And when you're stressed out, if you can hand off 70% to somebody else and you're dealing with a 30% problem, it won't feel very big anymore.
It's gonna free up your thinking so you can focus on other things that are gonna move your business forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
It's a huge, huge game changer.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on with me, Alec. We're on our way to the Internet Marketing Party, which we've been a few times before, and there's an amazing speaker tonight. So we're on our way over there and get to hang out with Alec here and just enjoy the great speaker and other attendees at the event. So thanks so much for joining me on here, Alec. Any final thoughts?
If you find something you feel good at, double down on it. Triple down on it.
Nice. Awesome. Great advice. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.